No parties and emergency numbers are on the fridge. Also, welcome back, Birdperson. We've missed you since season 2. Also, rest in peace, Phoenix Person. This episode, we find out the relationship between Birdperson and Rick Sanchez, C-137. After the family goes away on a cruise, and in the background during this entire season, Rick was putting Birdperson back together. I do love the fact that the garage literally gives up on it when he realizes that Birdperson lost the will to live. Birdperson, for his perspective, died at his own wedding. I do love the fact that the garage feels threatened and feels that Rick is going to kill the AI at any point. The AI proposes to commit fellatio on poor Rick. Rick tries to reassure it that it has 600-year battery life, or that he's lying. I also love the fact the neighbor from in the background comes by and actually gets active in this episode, in which the AI proposes to commit fellatio if that neighbor could keep the battery charged. As I said, Birdperson lost the will to live, so Rick has to go into Birdperson's mind to take him out and make him want to live one more time. Now this episode begins like The Cell, an awful film from the 90s involving Vince Vaughn and Jennifer Lopez. Don't watch it. You're wasting 2 hours of your life, in which a director basically makes visual confirmation of, look at me, I'm artistic! Yay! Yeah, it's pretty much that type of film. You're wasting your time. Now we do learn some things about Rick and Birdperson. They met at Burning Man Palooza. And it's also there where they meet Squanchy and form a band. They also decide to rebel against the Intergalactic Federation. And actually, further in the mind, they make plans to fight at Bloody Ridge. And this is where the episode gets pretty interesting, because we end up having 35-year-old Birdperson's memory of Rick interact with our Rick, in which their relationship becomes a tsundere relationship. Yeah, our Rick can't stand the memory of 35-year-old Rick. After all, I mean, that guy's baka. It's not like I like him. I just don't want to see him die. Yeah, that type of old trope. Eventually, yeah, they become more friends as the episode goes along. Okay, we also find some other things out, like Birdperson and Tammy actually create something that we find in the after credits sequence, so I'm not going to unveil it. Birdperson does not want to be alive. He feels that he's lived his life, his body's been desecrated, there's really no point for him to live. Also, Rick C-137 is not a very nice person. Stuff we know about. We also know there might be a bit of truth to the season 3 premiere. Remember the sequence that Rick says was fake, in which his family was killed and he ends up creating interdimensional portal gun? Well, according to Birdperson, as well as Rick 35-year-old memory version, that Beth is dead. And that reality is that the Beth they're living with is an alternative Beth that he grabbed from another dimension. But here's a spoiler. We learn from season 1 that C-137 Rick is not in his original dimension. Don't forget, he's from the Cronenberg dimension. The one where he messed everything up and everybody was turned into Cronenbergs. Also, the Smith family becomes very feral in that episode. As the episode goes on, we learn some other things. Like, for instance, Tammy and Birdperson were making out on the workbench of poor Rick C-137. I do love the fact that they brought up that Squanchy was masturbating in the closet, in which Rick says, well, that's what the closet was meant for. Great line. By the way, here's a spoiler. Tammy works for the Intergalactic Federation as an officer. We learned that in the season finale of season 2, don't we? The best line is delivered by Tammy, who, by the way, returns, but don't forget, this is the memory Tammy. Rick Sanchez, you're under arrest for making me go to Earth High School for 2 years! Eventually, our Rick who gets our favorite bird person out of his funk. I do love the fact, though, that the 35-year-old bird person memory of Rick tries to live on in Rick Sanchez's memory. Now, a lot of people did not like the fact that this season was very episodic in nature. I didn't mind, because, we still have Space Bet to deal with. Also, a lot of episodes are pretty episodic. Is this the worst episode of the season? Oh, no, not even close. There's no giant sperm. There's no turkeys to deal with. This is one of the better episodes of the season. It's not the best episode, but it is one of the better episodes. Sadly, this is also happens to be one of the final times I'll probably be reviewing Rick and Morty for a while. According to the schedule, next month they'll have a 1-hour finale, which means the next couple weeks, there's no Rick and Morty. Now, as I said, this episode's been very good. Season's alright for the most part. We haven't really gone off a cliff like we have in other series that I've kind of lost interest in. Sadly, South Park happens to be one of those series. I am enjoying Season 5 of Rick and Morty, and I really can't wait for the season finale next month. But until then, wubba lubba dub dub!